Hey everybody, this is TJR. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. And in one of my previous videos, I did mention that I probably spent a little too much money on records during the holiday season. And this was because there were some insanely good sales out there online if you looked. And some of these sales I took advantage of, some I had to pass on, and some, unfortunately, I missed out on because I wasn't fast enough. And that's just the way it is sometimes, you know. But I'm grateful for what I was able to purchase. And this is one of them here that I want to show you right now. This, of course, is Tommy by The Who. This has been out for a little while. It's recent, but it's been out for a little while. But this is a new half-speed mastering of the classic album here. Let me read the hype sticker for you all here. Mastered by John Astley at Close to the Edge Half-Speed Vinyl Masters, cut by Miles Showell at Abbey Road Studios Half-Speed Mastering. And then it goes on a little bit more about the half-speed mastering process. Now, half-speed masterings, I guess there's a lot of talk about them on the internet. Some people say they're amazing. Some people say they're kind of just a reason to get you to buy an album again. In the same way that, you know, some albums get remastered even though they don't really need it, and they just put it out there to get you to buy it again. My experience with half-speed masterings on vinyl is that some of them have been absolutely revelatory to where my reaction was like, wow, effing wow. A good example was the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street half-speed mastering on vinyl. It was amazing. By way of comparison, a half-speed mastering on the Rolling Stones' Some Girls album, I was like, okay, it's pretty good. Maybe a little bit better than my CD version. You know, I compared it. It's like, but nothing to go right home about. So I think it's kind of hit and miss sometimes with that. But I was intrigued about this particular one. There's a channel, I think it's called 45 RPM. The guy's a real audiophile. He's from Germany, but he's not a snob. He really, you know, he's not snobbish the way some audiophiles are out there. And he, you know, recommended this one. He basically said, you know, that of course probably the best version to get would be an original UK pressing from when it was released. But it can be hard to get that in good condition. And it can cost you some money. And he said that he felt this, you know, was a good alternative. You know, if you don't want to spend all the money it would take to get, you know, to get an original copy in good condition. And so I thought, okay, the guy has, you know, the guy is not hyperbolic and he's very down to earth. And I have never owned this on vinyl. A while back, I did get to purchase the box set, the anniversary box set that came out, and I found that one used on the aftermarket at a really good price. I did an unboxing of that one. And Tommy, the album has always fascinated me. And a while back, I made a video, one of my video essays, entitled 4 Versions of Tommy, where I compared and contrasted 4 different recorded versions of Tommy. This included, of course, the original album. It included the film soundtrack album version, the Broadway cast version, and the London Symphony Orchestra version from the 70s, which is the one that is the least talked about and is a particular favorite of mine. I'll leave a link to that video so you can check that out if you have an interest in that. But here we go. I've got the shrink wrap off, and already the physical appearance of this is astounding. We have an Obi strip here and track information on the back here. And let's just take a look at this here. Back cover without the Obi. And we'll open it up here. Here is the first opening there. And then we open it. Let's see here. Okay. It's a, let me see, it's 4-panel, no, 3-panel. 3-panel gatefold. Here we go. try to show that to you here. And this side is empty. Everything is here on this end. I'm pretty sure that original releases had it on both sides of the gatefold. Let's pull these out here. We've got a booklet here with lyrics, photos and illustrations. Side 3 and 4, but where's the other record? Oh, it's in here. It's on the side pocket. You know, a while back, I ordered Marvin Gaye's 40, I think it was 45th or 50th, actually, no, 50th anniversary of What's Going On, which was a fantastic pressing. And it was all analog, straight from the master tapes. And it is one of my favorite vinyl reissues that I've ever heard, that particular one. And it was a 2-disc set because it contained the original album and it contained a bonus disc with additional bonus tracks. And the package only had 1 record in it though. Of course, I wrote them, sent it back, they replaced it. It was no big deal. But yeah. And that was Amazon actually where I purchased it from. So I just, did their return policy. They sent me a new one. It was fine. But I almost thought I was going to get only 1 record here, but I found it. It was just kind of tucked away here on the other side here. Let me do this again here. It was kind of tucked away right in here. There's a second pocket right here. And I almost didn't notice it. I almost thought that maybe this was supposed to be a 4-way gatefold opening and it was supposed to open here, but it seemed glued together. So there we go. In case you haven't gotten this. And now it has this certificate. That's interesting. I've never seen one of these on one of these packages. Half-speed mastering certificate. Let me read this to you here. Abbey Road's world-renowned engineers have been cutting grooves into discs since the studios first opened their doors in 1931. This record was pressed from a master cut using a precision technique, I gotta stop reading so fast, known as half-speed mastering. The procedure requires the source master and the cutting lathe to run at half speed on a specially adapted Neumann VMS 80 lathe. This rare and specialized technique transforms difficult to cut high-end frequencies into relatively easy to cut mid-range frequencies. The result is a cut with excellent high-frequency response and very solid and stable stereo images. In short, half-speed mastering produces a master of the highest quality that enables the pressing plant to produce a, hopefully I can say this word, superlative record. Miles Showell has his name there. Okay, so there we go. But my experience has been, some of them have been amazing. Some of them have been like, okay. But this one came recommended. So yeah, we've got both records here. Let's take a look here. They are in standard paper sleeves. Yeah, why put so much effort and then put it in a standard paper sleeve? At least polyline it. So these will be replaced with anti-static sleeves for that reason. Everything else is amazing about this though. And here's the book. Actually, I do remember this book because my older brother had this album and he's probably got, I don't know, a very early copy, if not an original. And I remember looking through this book. Here we go. And of course, these illustrations have been seen on CD versions as well. There you go. Anyhow, though, but yeah, visually speaking, this is all excellent. This is all really well done. And so now I'm going to listen to these. I'm going to transfer them to digital. Of course, I'm going to rip them and put them in my computer so that I can also put them on my mobile device. And standard black vinyl, of course. And original label, original pressing label. And UK version, that is. So, okay. There we go. Tommy by The Who. And check out that link for my video, the 4 versions of Tommy, that video essay I did. If you like Tommy, I think you'll be interested in that one. And I'm going to go listen to these now, see what I think. Okay, I am back, and Superfan is joining me.
Hey.
She was out doing something during the first half of this video, and you came home after I was...
Go get me food.
You came home with breakfast, which was very sweet of you. I had just finished shooting the video, and then I could hear the garage door opening, and you had arrived home. And Superfan was kind enough to bring some breakfast. I had a ham and cheese croissant, and you went to Porto's Bakery, which is just one of the most amazing places to go get food at.
Yeah, if you ever come to Southern California.
Yeah, great place to check out. And so anyways, we had some breakfast and listened to the side one of this half-speed remastering of Tommy. And I will have to say that I began to notice the difference almost immediately. And as the side progressed, I was really impressed with how this album sounded. I would say that I've never heard this album sound so real. That's what I'll really say about it. It sounded very real. Every instrument felt like it was really there. It's the most real I've ever heard it sound.
I have to say,
you're not a fan of The Who, I know that.
No, not really.
Yeah, and have you ever heard this album before?
I've lived with you for more than half my life.
Okay, you have. And just by nature of association.
And that is a scary thought. Half my frickin' life.
Yeah, well, it's too late to turn back now, baby.
I'm still here.
By the way, I got to show this here. Made myself an espresso. I like to make my own little espressos with milk and a little tiny bit of chocolate, dark chocolate, I should say. And this is a Twin Peaks coffee cup.
Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department.
Exactly, Sheriff's Department coffee cup, which Superfan bought. Are you ready? She bought this at the Elvis Presley Museum store at Graceland when we went to Tennessee.
Because nothing says
Elvis Presley like
Twin Peaks.
Exactly. It was the weirdest thing that we saw that there.
There was a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there was other Twin Peaks merchandise too.
I got a t-shirt.
The theory is that they were selling, of course, a lot of Elvis merchandise, but that they were also acting as an outlet for other merchandised material. Probably whatever company makes the Elvis merchandise made this merchandise, and this was just stuff that they were just trying to close out.
Yeah, because it was half price.
Yeah, all this stuff was half price. So, yeah, so naturally, of course, if you go to Graceland and see the Elvis Presley Museum.
So now every time you drink coffee out of that cup, you're going to think of Elvis.
I'm going to think of Elvis. I'm going to think of that visit to Graceland. And, yeah. And naturally, yeah, that's what you want to get if you go to see the Elvis Museum. You want to buy some Twin Peaks merchandise. Anyways, though, just had to point that out here. But yeah, I was very impressed with how this sounded. It just every instrument felt so much bigger, so much more real. And I always kind of thought that with the movie soundtrack version of Tommy, which I talk about in that video that I mentioned a while ago, that in the movie version, Pete Townsend, of course, was very involved in the production of that soundtrack. He used a lot more synthesizers because they were more available at that time in the 70s when that soundtrack was recorded. And I felt like he was trying to give Tommy a more epic sound, a bigger sound than what was possible back then when he was recording it with The Who. And of course, when Pete Townsend composed Tommy, one of the things he was trying to do was he was trying to answer like what other bands were doing, where they were doing these very experimental albums, to a certain extent answering what the Beatles were doing with Sgt. Pepper. But he was trying to create something that also the band could perform. Unlike, say, Sgt. Pepper, which the Beatles, who had stopped touring at this point, could not perform as just the four of them. not without bringing a whole slew of other musicians along with them, but that the Who could perform still as just the four-piece unit that they are, that they could do that. And I felt like with the soundtrack version, he was trying to make a more epic version. But I'll be honest, hearing it now, the way I heard it, it sounds very epic. That's, I guess, the best thing I can say. But yeah, I'm glad I picked this up. I've only listened to side one, but I can already say I'm really glad I picked this up. This was a much more expensive LP record, and that's why I waited for a good sale, which there were plenty of this holiday season, and so I picked this one up. And glad I did. It was worth the wait. And but yeah, if you're a fan of this album, and if you do have a good, if you do have a turntable and such, I recommend checking this out. And if you've heard this, let me know your thoughts. And again, I'll leave a link for that video I mentioned, 4 versions of Tommy, in case you have an interest in that. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. And I want to say thank you to the Patreon supporters.
You are fierce and mighty.
Who are helping me make more videos. Patreon supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel. And if you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. Any monthly pledge you can make is a big help in keeping this channel going. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.